Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Brian. It's nice to see you guys again.
Yes, good to see
Today,
you.
we're going to do a special recording with Jonathan focused on how the two of you met in India and the practices from Isha that Jonathan has incorporated and are so fulfilling in his life right now, incorporated in how he lives, how he does his coaching practice, his hypnotherapy practice. So, Jonathan, do you want to help us understand what took you to India? How did you decide to go there?
So the main reason why I decided to go to India, believe it or not, Brian knows, at some point in my life at that time, which was last year, I thought I was going nuts, crazy.
Mm,
I was starting to feel um, things that I couldn't explain.
mm,
And whenever I wanted someone to teach me what is it that I was experiencing, nobody in my surroundings were able to teach me what is it that I was experiencing.
okay.
So I thought, okay, this is interesting. But by that time, I was already a certified alchemical hypnotherapist.
Mhm,
So I had an idea that it had to be something non-physical that I was actually
mhm,
like being part of or
mhm,
experiencing,
mhm.
but it was too strong. So all of a sudden, it was like a knock in the head. It was like a
A wake-up
and
call from life.
and all of a sudden, the only thing I could think of, it was go to this place. It is called Dhyana Linga, which is a temple. And that is the only thing I could think of. Don't ask me why, because I do not know why. Of all the places that I could have chosen, this place just keep popping on all my social media, everywhere. Um, it was even in the most random places. So I have the tendency to listen to myself when it comes to that stuff, or like to listen to whatever I'm channeling. So that's how I ended up living United States, and I went to India in search for what it's called Dhyana Linga. Now, little did I knew that in order to live inside of this sacred place or ashram, you had to do a process. It's like a process of elimination to see if, first of all, if they are going to accept you living there, um, which I never did because all I knew is I have to go to this place. I didn't even have enough money to go,
Mhm,
actually,
mhm,
at that time. Um, so I told the experience to my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, listen, I have to go to this place. I only have money for
mhm.
one way trip. I might not come back. Who
You want
knows?
me to come back?
if, but if you're willing to wait for me, I will come back because I just want to learn something." She encouraged me. She said, "Anything you need, you go."
Mhm.
So I took it as an extra sign. So then I left here, no ticket back, no process of elimination whatsoever. So
Mhm.
when I arrived to this place, the ashram, Isha Foundation, they were like, "Oh, welcome. This is it. You're more than welcome to go to the temple, this place, this other place, but um, you cannot live here because you're supposed to apply 6 months before." And at that time, I'm like, "Come on, I just came from
Yeah.
like California to this place. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is it for me." They were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's it for you, but you have to have you I haven't even done like inner engineering at that point, which is some of the requirements that they require you to do." So I remember having a very aggro attitude, and I told them, actually, literally, I was like, "Well, I don't know. I was in a very intense energy, so I told them literally, well, you guys call me, so you better help me or like do something about it because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Like you are the ones that were calling me. Now help me." And and that seemed to work. I got an interview so fast, within like the next 3 days. um, so I got an interview. Then I did whatever that it was needed to do. That is pretty much how I learned the sense of urgency. Like whenever you need to do something, you just keep doing it, doing it, doing it. So I did every single step that they told me to do. Then I did a different interview. So I arrived in India in September. By the time I was accepted into the ashram, it was November.
Ooh.
So it was a while. On the meantime, that's when I was living in one of the villages outside of this place. And that's where I ended up meeting Brian. Because
Yeah.
I actually met him in a cafe.
Yeah. Marshall's Cafe.
Yes, Marshall's Cafe, which is an amazing place, actually.
Yeah.
It will blow your mind.
Yeah.
So
Right there next to Jonalinga, right up.
exactly, it's like literally so close from that place. It's a long walk, but manageable. I will recommend bicycle, taking the bus, or my favorite choice of transportation there, motorcycle. But yeah, which actually this character plays a huge role in this experience because Marshall, this human, I met him in his cafe while I was staying in one of the hostels or like hotels. But at some point, I was not expecting to be outside of the ashram for that long. So I was actually finishing all my money. So then while going to this cafe, this human Marshall, he goes, well, how much are you paying daily? I was like, hey man, I'm paying like 1,000 and something rupees per day. He goes, oh, you give me that like 2,000, 1,500 or something like that. Some ridiculous amount, like pretty much nothing, right? And then he gave me the opportunity to live with him in his apartment. So I was actually living there with him. If it wasn't for him, I don't know, probably more likely I will be back home. I'll be like, hey, I need an airplane ticket back home because I'm just spending too much. But this guy was extremely helpful. So he offered me a place and I was living with him and I had such an amazing experience. I was living outside the ashram in the villages. And that's when I met Brian. He was there going to the same cafe. But the way we connected was we had a mission. Like the mission was not to go to India to go to this specific cafe. It just so happens that this cafe is so energized that you cannot go to Tamil Nadu without going to this cafe.
That's funny.
And so yes.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, we met there, man. It's so interesting. Like I was going there to heal because I went through some traumatic experiences, and also I had watched a lot of Sadhguru videos, and I would try the practices on my own. And I kind of thought someday I'll probably just go there. I just had that thought, like I'll probably go there someday. And then, I was in Thailand and I was ready to go somewhere else. And I was like, I'm just going to go there and see if I can heal, see if I can grow, see if I can learn.
You both overcame obstacles to go to India, and you met in Coimbatore at Isha Center. And our community at Alive Designed is better for it. So thank you both.
Yeah, this is an experience of what you get inside Alive Design. So come on, check it out. You might like it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we'll find you on TikTok. We find you on Instagram. We'll put all those references in the show notes. And then, of course, lifedesign.org/Jonathan. They can find all your social media there and connect with you one-on-one for coaching. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your stories of Isha.
Absolutely. It was great. It's great to hear your perspective, man.
Thanks. Well, until the next time.